Hi everyone, this beautiful community. Let's dive into some questions about the current whistleblowers, the situation that is going on in the United States of America. So, in order to bring everyone on the same page, we have a situation in the United States of America where a former military soldier, a member of the armed forces, came forward, signed the papers to become a whistleblower, and he talked about the United States having re-engineered UFO extraterrestrial crafts. So the question, is he sanctioned to do so? Is there maybe even a plan behind that? Yes, that is very, very likely. So for everyone who doesn't know, there's an agency in the United States of America that advises whistleblowers about the information that they can publicly discuss and those that they cannot publicly discuss. So this is the Office of the Inspector General that is in the United States Department of Defense. There are actually confidentiality clauses in every contact for everyone who worked in certain branches of the military or for the government. So yes, I very much believe that everything that's happening right now has been part of an arrangement, or people have been asked to come forward or motivated in some kind of way. I see that quite often actually. Yes, everything we've seen so far, from the Pentagon changing the policies to allow people to come forward and spread information, give certain information, to the release of video footage that we've seen, coming from the Pentagon, these TikTok UFOs, to the introduction of the UFO topic on public media when we were discussing certain weather balloons. All this is disclosure in front of our very eyes, and it's great. Be confident, because you and I, we've done a lot in order to bring this information forward and to manifest things into our reality, especially through our focus and our meditations. The All Shift Happily is working, and that's beautiful, so keep going, it's coming. So the question often comes, Tim, why now? And there are many reasons. I would say about 15 to 20 reasons for UFO disclosure right now. And I'm going to name some of them. Some that are very linked to the situation that's going on the planet right now is the shift. That's an increase of consciousness around the whole planet and beyond. And we see that with animals too, and we see that with humans and fellow brothers and sisters of this, planet. That's happening. That's a natural thing. It's not stoppable, and that's one of the reasons. The security situation. We see a situation where we have an open system. We have a lot of other civilizations. The count is going up and up and up. And I know Dr. Stephen Greer, he made a press conference and he talked about 64 civilizations that are known within the governments. We have many more. We have many more. Knowledge of many more civilizations. And therefore they need some kind of understanding by the general population of what is actually going on around this planet. It's not so silent like it used to be in the narratives. The bad recruitment of personnel. This is a topic. So usually this takes years and years to recruit people for these projects, and these people usually keep silent. Recruiting people is one of the major concerns by certain institutions. And we already see that. We already have branches all over the world. We have the Space Force, and unnoticed in Europe we have a lot of those Space Forces too. The Germans have them, the British, the Russians. So it's not a phenomenon that is solely in the USA. If you Google them, you'll find them. The necessity for improving the species and having a stronger home planet. This is again another reason why disclosure is happening right now, because if you have people that have no idea what's going on in the world around them, those are bad conditions for an open system situation, and we're dealing with that. The business deals that are waiting off planet. Can you imagine what this means? We had a closed business situation where we actually shared certain resources and gains around the planet, capitalism. This is by destructing things and rebuilding things, and through this you have this artificial growth that is actually really toxic and it's not improving the world at all. But if you have an open planet situation, the whole vast reality of the universe can be your business partners. That's a good thing for a lot of those advanced companies, and there are some advanced companies. So again, this is not only the government, there are some advanced companies on this planet, and they work with these situations too. They know what's going on. And one of the other reasons that I want to name is the growing interdimensional pressure because of what's happening on Earth. There's a situation on Earth where we're dealing with what's been called the installation. It's an artificial systematic structure in order to hold down the evolution of humans. And there's a trial going on. I talked about that somewhere, and I'm going to talk about it soon again. So this is another situation that's going on, and there's some interdimensional pressure that things need to change. And again, that's happening because we and other beings are bringing out input into the field, and that's reflecting back. So please keep that going. We are heading there, and it's beautiful. Fazit. So what's my takeaway? This is actually a voluntary self-commitment, what's going on. It looks like there's a dynamic going on where, governments are not involved, but that's not true. So the whole disclosure thing is a self-commitment. It's a voluntary approach. It's a correction of the course of human history since the 1940s. Because that's when we had a certain renaissance for knowing that extraterrestrial life forms exist. And that is why we see so many reactions that should have been appropriate a long, long time ago. And those reactions are happening right now. It's kind of a correction of the course of history. So the whole accuse of this whistleblower, and this is like the difference between a whistleblower and an insider, is that the whistleblower is actually bringing forward some misdeeds of certain institutions. And the whole accusation is about re-engineered crafts. So basically, in this whole context, relative to what's happening, coming up with certain technologies is pretty harmless. It's pretty harmless. The government can, even after the Congress and the media has been informed, they can still say that they did it for national security reasons, that they had to restrain these crafts and technologies from the public. And that's gonna, create some understanding, and keeping technologies for themselves and secretly, that's pretty harmless, right? The overall plan is actually to present older technologies to the world. So remember, there are technologies that are being collected since the 1950s, 1940s. So bringing out certain technology to the world and showing them and saying, like, this is what we had in the basement, it's 100% not the state-of-the-art technology that you're gonna see. It's probably things like the TR-3B, which has been operating in Europe as well for over a decade already. So if they show something like this, that's a technology that's pretty old, but it's gonna improve the whole narrative, right? So there are several narratives that are being discussed. And I said 2 years ago to one of the Gaia officials that there will be a NASA image published through mainstream media about the Mars context. And even though I did not know at that time how the picture is going to look, we had it. This was part of the disclosure too. So again, there are several narratives in play, and the narrative that I hope they will choose, and the one that I want to draw into my timeline the most, is the revelation that there used to be people on this planet before the last flood. There used to be civilizations on this planet before the last flood 15,000 years ago, and that they went somewhere, they tuned out of phase. And I want to see them talk about there are other human beings from somewhere else, from other solar systems, from other planetary systems that will look mostly like humans, a little bit more evolved, a bit more constructive. And they will offer a certain context of reunion to this planetary species. So this is one of the narratives that I want to see. This narrative will hold a lot of great potential for this species. So let's draw it in. Be aware that everything that is happening around us is happening because we are the observers. We choose the timelines and the events that we want in our timelines. So make sure to manifest it into reality. Take what is happening as a proof that the All Shift Happily Now meditations are working, because disclosure is almost done. And manifest it by saying all shift happily now, and follow this channel and the other channels from the community to be up to date for this very interesting event in human time.